What time is it? Your show. Yeah, what time is it? Your show. Yeah, what time is it? Your show. Yeah, he's back from the dead. Your show. Putting it on the map, yeah. Saskatoon. Right next to New York. New York. Yeah, what show, yeah. Your show. What time is it? Your show. Yeah, time to talk some shit, yeah. Your show. Yeah, fun Maggie. Bark, bark, wolf, wolf, move on to treat, yeah. Keep listening.
Friday. Man, you said I look cool sitting like this. I don't look cool at all. Welcome to the Friday edition of Your Show. I'm going to keep holding this. Well, we go straight to our first guest. Give it up for Network Ryan. Boo. Boo. Go ahead and switch over to camera 2, Noah. Show everyone. Boo. See, that's what we were doing. We were trying to
look all cool and relaxed because it's Friday.
You promised me it looked good.
Oh yeah,
it was brutal, man.
We were having a couple beer. Well, me and Uncle Brando were. Cat's out of the bag. Uncle Brando's in the building, eh?
You know, you're coming in real hot. Everything you said we weren't going to do, you did.
You know what?
Was he sleeping?
So
you're literally put him to sleep, man. Yep. It is hot in here. So before we get to the other half of the CCO podcast, I was hoping it would pop up right about now. Like this.
That's okay.
This is your time to shine, as you are the program director around here, the guy who runs the show, and our Mr. Everything. And we always pretend that we hate you, but we actually love you super lots because you're the only one here who actually understands how anything works. Not technically, but just YouTube-ly and all that stuff.
Listen, shout out to LB, the guy who does know how things work technically.
Yeah. You're like the LB of the other stuff.
And he's showing me like how the new producer floor mic works, and I'm like, okay, got it. It's like 2 buttons. It's so easy.
Yeah, and it was so fun. Him and I, shout out to Memory Express, our good friends over there, as we made some more purchasing as we get closer to launching the big Twitch channel, and it's so fun when you walk in there. When you walk in there with LB and Dragon, it's like you and I walking into the liquor store. You know what I mean? It's just like, what is the It's just amazing.
The God rays shine down.
Literally to
choirs
the
are
exact
singing.
laptop we got. And he got a great deal on it too. So again, hopefully we'll be talking more about our friends at Memory Express here very soon. As we spent a lot of money over there, but worth every penny, as all of the equipment that runs this place is from there. So
yeah,
he was very happy to start his day like that.
So LB, he shows me the producer. It's one button. You do the thing. It's fine. Okay, yeah. Can you hear me? Yeah, perfect. Microphone works. Cables are run. They're all hidden. Looks profesh. Noah gets in. I say, hey, Noah, I'm going to push this button. Can you hear me? He goes, no. What are we supposed to do?
Welcome to live, I guess. I was going to say TV, but it's not TV. Live broadcasting, I guess
You know what? Online streaming services and subscriptions and YouTube, it's the future. This is TV. This is TV, right? This is the direction that everything's going.
And it's almost scary. I was talking as well. Shout out to everyone at Blackstone Barbers and Beardsmiths as I got a little trim up done here today. And I was talking with my trimmer, and she was talking about the same thing about how, you know, all the kids growing up now, all they know is YouTube. They don't know what a TV is. Like, they just watch the YouTubes on their phones. That's
you know what? You know what? And I don't want to get into it because it's its own topic.
Yes.
But parenting and online digital media, the speed of media, we've talked about this, and Brooksy is really in the same camp as me in the speed at which media is presented and digested by kids who really don't know any better because this is the only thing that they've ever really experienced as far as media. But like when you look at the YouTubes and the TikToks and the Instagrams and the Reels and the swiping, it's so fast to move on and not care, or to really get hooked and watch the same thing over and over again. And then you can slow that down to longer form stuff on YouTube, like your show. You can slow that down to a movie or like a half an hour program like on Netflix.
I love how you do this.
You can slow it down further to
reading a book.
Something like reading a book.
This is parenting tips right now.
You
is what
could
we're learning.
Slow it down further to coloring, doing crafts, creativity. You could slow it down even further to painting or making really slow form art. You could slow it down even further to just going to somewhere like an art gallery and observing art and thinking about art. And that's kind of the progression in speed that media has taken over the past like 200 years, right?
Isn't that scary? Like that scares me, dude.
Yeah, and the progression over the last 200 years hasn't been like a linear
Yeah,
graph.
it's not the one. It's
like
the money one this guy likes.
there was this huge
up.
boom
Yeah,
of
that's
content
it.
when the internet or was invented and
And
started
now-
to be mass consumed.
Yeah.
So it's super cool stuff, right? And people are studying it now, and it's a topic of a lot of psychology, sociology, children's early education kind of topics, right?
I agree. And I remember you talking about all that, and that's why I'm sort of like so proud, and that's why I wanted to bring it up again, because this is a very slow version of that media intake, having a live show like this that just sort of goes on its own and where it goes. And you
Yeah.
can just sit back, relax, and enjoy it as you
For
roll into the
sure.
weekend.
And you know what? Lots of people do appreciate that step backwards
Yeah.
to the slow down, digestible. I'll call us characters. I have a voice and a vibe, as Brooksy would
Ugh.
say. You've got a vibe. Uncle Brando's got a vibe,
Ugh.
right? And I wanted to a little bit touch on that, but
Oh.
but more than that, I wanted to stay focused on speed.
Ah.
I wanted to stay focused on something that we've been working on for
Yes.
a long time. And shout out to our friends at Memory Express and all of
Yes.
our other partners. I think speaking of our extra or our other partners, we could maybe go to a Maggie Cam because she's gonna hop right up there.
Come on. Come on, Mark.
Can we do a Maggie Cam, Noah?
There
it
she
is.
is.
There's
Look at
our
that fluffy
three-legged
butt.
beauty, eh?
Yes. And again, shout out. The biggest shout out of all to our friends over at Pet Planet on 8th Street, your pet's natural grocer, as they were the first ones, not only to give Maggie and I an opportunity when we were at the other place, but the first ones to hop on here as well. So Mike and Rochelle and Kirsten and Shar and Chris, the whole team there, man,
There we
incredible
go.
people.
There's the
Look
money
at her.
shot.
Look at her go. All of them over at Pet Planet 8th Street. Such an incredible team, and we love them so dang much. And we've been talking, like everybody involved with the network now all goes there. So we're all
Yeah.
getting to know everyone
Yeah.
there as well, which is super cool.
Yeah.
So
Very cool.
love
So
them over there as we pay those bills.
I got to do the network thing. If you're a local business, you want to be part of the damn network. You got to
Come on.
shoot an email. For the audio listeners, they're not going to see
Gonna be
Gary
close.
trying to frame up where the
Yeah.
word is going to come up.
Tell us what it's going to be.
But dufferinav.com, there's a contact
is.
us, there's an advertise with us, there's a create with us page. You can shoot us an email if you're interested in advertising, and we've got a lot of creative ways to advertise, right?
We
where
really
we
do.
can talk about your business, live read, Maggie Cam, show off Maggie's butt. We can put anything on the mic booms, we can put stuff on the table, we can put stuff on
What
our
do we
bodies.
always say? We are not in the business to get rich. We're only here to get comfortable.
Uncle Brando said he'd tattoo somebody's logo on them.
That's pretty cool.
I don't know if that's legal or not, but
I actually, I do have a tattoo guy, and I don't have a single tattoo on my body, but I got a good buddy who runs a great place, so it's the Pick Man.
there we go.
So if we ever want to talk about that, he came in here for a little tour not too long ago. Very good dude. And that, again, lots of businesses that are going, crutches. I think I have like
Again,
5 donations to make
again.
already to
Yeah.
the citywide food drive here with
Yeah,
all
yeah.
of my crutches. But your budget, we can cater to whatever it is. That's the beauty of it. Because everyone we talk to, like, life's hard out there, man. Business is hard. So we know you don't have an advertising budget. That's okay. We can do stuff for you for like the tiniest amount or for anything, you know, whatever it is. Just reach out and talk to us and help us help you, I guess.
Yep,
is the way to put it.
very much. Any budget, product trade, showcasing on the table, whatever it is, we've got it. Speaking of having it. Speed. Yeah, I'm trying to get to it because I know we've got a
keep
couple
throwing you
guests and
off.
we've got an interview and we've got all the stuff,
Yeah.
right? So I'm trying to get to it as fast as I
Mhm.
can. We've got a new lifestyle and fitness show coming up. And I keep being reminded that we have this product because my body is rubbing against the knob on my earpiece controller, and then I think the microphones are muted because my body's rubbing against the
He's
knob.
sitting there yelling at me all the time because I'm always like, yeah, my mic, man, my earpiece isn't working, and then of course it's just turned right down. He's like, why do you always do that? How can you do that? And
Yep.
for you to get a taste of it makes me feel really
Network
good.
Ryan coming through. I'm thinking, Noah, God,
Yeah.
damn it."
Yeah, and it's always us.
get
It's
it under
always the
control.
host. That's a little tip for everyone. It's
Yeah.
always our fault.
Yeah, so that's one thing.
Yes.
We've got, and we've got people out over there in the lounge right now that I'm going to have to give the boot to because I got to
Oh.
move a bunch of furniture when I'm out of here
Yes, you do.
because we're setting up the studio. We're setting up the studio or the stream studio for our
Yes.
Twitch channel.
Yes.
And don't worry, the YouTube stuff's not going anywhere. But we're setting up the Twitch channel to do speed runs.
We're speed run the
And
hell
I
out of some
wanted to a
games.
little bit talk to you about what is a speed run and how did that start and
Yes.
stuff. But we've got somebody who knows a little bit more about that than I do.
If you can wake him up, I'm pretty sure he's dead. Did you kill
Well,
him?
he is old enough to probably just die of old age.
And And that's the weirdest part because he's like the same age as me. And just because I trained him at the other place, I've always thought I was so much older than him. No,
Oh,
we're
no.
equals.
Well, everybody thinks that he's like 26.
Yeah, he's a young gun.
He's a young gun.
That's my guy.
Well, young at heart, eh?
Definitely young at heart.
Well, here's the thing. Without
Oh,
any
he's
further
like
ado,
the Undertaker.
he's
He's like the Undertaker. There he is.
It's like the Undertaker. I just saw his head come up like this. I'm going to get out of here.
Undertaker.
Big thanks to all our local partners.
Yes.
Big thanks to our good friend Gary and Noah in the booth.
Yes.
And
Sweet Marge.
Maggie under the table. Uncle
Yeah.
Brando's going to come in. I'm getting out of here.
Give me somebody. I
Yep.
appreciate you. Hey, give it up for Network Ryan, all right? A good man right there. Much that hurts me to say it. Wow. Network Ryan, you got much more handsome. Hello.
Oh, why thank you.
Look at you go.
Oh,
Look at
man.
that. What a switch. That was probably the best switch we've ever done.
The ratings just went through the roof, didn't they?
Yes, they did. And that's
Yeah,
not
buddy.
the only thing that went through the roof.
Wait.
That was not a wiener joke. Don't be gross.
Excellent. Okay.
Okay.
Excellent.
You
So I was not napping over there for sure. Like, there's no way that was happening.
you
at
had a
all.
long day.
I learned so many things over there. I learned that Blackbeard will trim my stuff, and Memory Lane
Blackbeard.
is my new favorite liquor store, and we are all huge TV stars. This is amazing to me that I get to be
I
a
thought
part
I
of
was
this.
the only one that could mix it all up, man. How you doing? I missed
Oh,
you.
I'm doing great.
You were
Gary.
battling for like the
Oh.
last couple of weeks. I'm like every time, like, yes, Brando's coming in, and you're like, dude, I'm dead.
I had
Dude,
to-
I'm dead.
I not the worst cold I've ever had
That was
ever.
right up
Like
there,
you know
I
the one,
bet.
it starts like the one that starts in your chest. You got the lung rattling cough,
Mm-hmm.
and then it moves up into your throat, and it feels like you can't breathe. Like, oh man, I'm just drowning all the time. And then the whole thing just starts oozing out of your face. You're like, man, I'm too gross to be outside right now. So that's been my last couple of weeks.
I've been feeling for you, man,
It's
because
been a
I
thing.
always tell you, like, every time you come on, this whole building just lights up because you're such a beautiful man.
Aw,
Let's get to what this jabroni was talking about. Is you and I are going to start doing a gaming show, and
We
it's going to
are.
be really freaking cool. And we've been talking about it, but we will focus on that another time. I want to focus today on speed running, as I've been practicing the speed runs, and we were talking about how I was crushing the All-Star Softball Dusty Diamonds world record. Done it a couple times already.
Oh, nice.
And let's just talk about what basically a speed run is.
A speed run is when you go from beginning to end in a given game in the least amount of time possible. And while that does, well, obviously that's what it is. There is a little bit more to it,
Yes.
where the times are. There's a what's the word I'm looking for? There's a pattern, a formula.
Yes.
There's an established jump here, do this, take this amount of time. This is the correct way to do it.
Yep.
And the excitement of watching it past the blazing speed and incredible skill is when somebody comes up with that. Oh, like if you, before we get into glitches and stuff like that, like the glitch-free Mega Man 2 run, we're like, oh, but if you go this way down the tube in Flashman stage, you save
10 seconds.
3 seconds, right? And to the normal human, it's like, well,
What
who
are you
cares?
talking about?
But to
Yeah.
a speedrunner, to somebody who's into that stuff, it's a huge deal. And there's a huge community online of people that just, I don't want to say they do it for a living, but some people
They do.
it for a living.
Arcus, man. Shout out to
It's
Arcus,
amazing.
my favorite speedrunner. He had the Ninja Gaiden speedrun record for a very long time, and it only took him 30,000 plus runs. That's
Only?
it.
Oh,
30,000 times.
Man,
and that's how
that's
he
it?
developed all of his catchphrases and stuff. I didn't know that at the time, but then there's this dude named Summoning Salt who's got a channel on YouTube, and he basically, all of his videos are just breakdowns of the progressions of these world records.
Well, that's a great idea.
So when you came in the other a couple
Yeah.
weeks ago, and I was watching the Mega Man,
Yeah.
I was like, this is what I was talking about. And like each of those sort of glitches, I guess you would say, those new tricks that go into these speedruns, they all get nicknamed after the people that do them, or like what the trick is about, and it's really cool. So I was watching the Halo 2 Legendary speedrun last night, and they came out with the Halo 2 Anniversary Edition. And what are the achievements? So you have achievements for doing stuff. And
Trophies and stuff, yep.
One of the achievements was named after the speedrunner in the
Oh, that's
anniversary edition.
amazing.
I named after the world record holder for that speedrun. So that was super cool too.
That's incredible. Yeah, like, you know what I just thought of?
What's that?
What we need to do, now that I know this is a thing, we need to find ourselves a glitch or something that can be used to save time in one of these runs.
Okay.
And they can call it the Brando and Gary Shuffle.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it's going to be, but like we're going to glitch through the floor, or we're going to do something sweet. Like the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time one, where the guy, what do you dive roll into a door, and
Yeah.
you like glitch through the whole tower and just fight Ganon at the beginning of the game.
It's insanity.
We're
They
gonna
could
do
beat the
something like that,
whole
except-
game in like a minute.
Yeah,
It's ridiculous.
it's outrageous. But
And there's one for Super Mario World, I believe, where you put different items in different places, and then you beat the game in like a minute and a half. Just go straight to the credits.
oh
So
wow.
there's some insanity out there. So we'll be breaking all that down as we continue to make all of these chases. Now, I want to ask you,
Okay, all right.
what games would you want to start speedrunning? What do you think you'd be good at jumping in? Because I know you're a Mega Man guy. We all know about your love for Mega Man.
Well, I'm a Mega Man guy. and
Those are tough runs, though.
one of my great achievements personally is, well, I said two. I have two great gaming achievements there, just mine, just for me. Maybe not that impressive, but I'm proud of them.
I'm already impressed.
One time, I called a friend to pick me up from work, and in the time between me calling him and him showing up, which was like an hour, beat Mega Man 5.
Get out of here.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I know that that's not world record territory, but it's pretty
But-
cool for me.
That's insanity.
One time, this is my thing. Final Fantasy VII first came out.
Here we go.
Rented it from like, Rogers Video, right?
Yeah, shout out to the old video stores.
I beat it in one sitting with no memory card.
Okay. So just to put that into perspective, this is one like it was probably the biggest RPG at the time when it came out for
Well,
the PlayStation,
yeah.
PlayStation 1.
Yep.
And if you didn't have a memory card for your PlayStation, you got to keep playing because you can't save.
And if you die, you start the game over again. So I went from disc 1 all the way to the end of disc 3, one sitting,
That's
no
insanity.
save, 26 hours it took me.
I wasn't.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I was sweating. Like it was gross. I'm sure I was.
Sephiroth? Sephiroth!
Sephiroth.
Sephiroth.
Ba, 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 ba.
Yeah.
Yeah, with his one wing and blowing up.
One
the
winged
sun.
angel. So it's
What
Kenny
a-
Omega.
What a guy. Poor diverticulitis. Hey, man, that's the worst. thing to
Apparently, he's
have.
not that bad. He was taking bumps all over the place.
Well, maybe he was just doing that because he's friends with the Buck.
Well, Jungle Boy. I think
There's
he's
no-
friends with Jungle Boy too.
No,
Or, sorry, Jack Perry, Luke Perry's kid.
nobody's friends with him.
I
They
was
just
thinking
think
the
he's
same
funny
thing.
when he gets drunk and throws up on himself. That's why he has friends. That's why he has a job, man. I'm convinced of that.
But we could all agree Okada's the real deal. We all love the Rainmaker, right?
You know what? I didn't watch a lot of Japanese wrestling over the last few years. And so, really, all I've seen from him is since he showed up in the States, I'm not super impressed.
You got to go watch him in Omega. for
The man
New
worked
Japan.
a big time schedule, I would guess. Like, the man worked hard. Those Japanese schedules are tough.
Man, he's.
And
Oh,
you can see that the years have worn on him, which is unfortunate. One of my
Yeah.
heroes got to get old. I
same
hate
reason
that.
we do, man.
No, what
Sucks.
you-
Same
what
reason
are you
do have to
talking about?
Undertaker to sit up over there.
Hey,
I
I
wish-
can still Undertaker, though.
That's
That's,
true.
the thing.
Bobby Goodtimes, an original member of the Kyle and Gary Super's Awesome podcast, as well as guy number one, aka Kyle, who is currently doing his WCW impression and staying home and collecting the paychecks instead of joining us on the show.
Right?
They were the ones that got me into Okada and New Japan Pro Wrestling and the battle between Kenny Omega and Okada. And I was just thinking, like, the Bullet Club. I was trying to think of Okada as, it was like Los Globos or one of those other factions over New Japan. And Chaos, maybe? Anyway, so it was Bullet Club versus Chaos, I believe, whichever one it was. And they were like the leaders of these two things. And it was so cool, and it just sucked us right in. So that's how I got into those matches. But it was just unbelievable to watch the stuff they could do.
It was like the NWO black and white, the NWO red and black, except it was actually good.
Dude, real quick. The Minnesota Timberwolves are a basketball team.
Okay.
And they were playing playoff basketball the other night. And it was on TV. And as they were going to the commercial, they played the NWO Wolfpack theme. Don't turn your
that's
back on the
sick.
Wolfpack. You might
That is-
wind up in a body bag.
Yeah.
It was so sick, dude. And it was for the Wolves and the Wolfpack. I was like, somebody at TNT is really paying attention. And then I remembered
That's-
NWO was on TBS and TNT.
Yeah, dude.
So
man,
they
that's-
had a whole coming together there, which was so damn cool to see.
That is so excellent. I love
Yeah.
stuff like that.
So that was really fun.
I love the
Um,
cyclical nature of things.
Anything else that we would like to talk about with the speed running as he's pointing stuff over here?
Can I quickly tell you a non-speed running, the opposite of speed running
Yes,
story?
you
Because with me
can.
being sick and seeping for so long, I know they say, well, you should get some rest and you should eat healthy.
Yeah.
No, I just didn't eat food for 3 days and I played Elden Ring. That's what I did.
How many deaths total?
And it
What's
was
your death
ridiculous.
count at?
Oh, my death count is up in the thousands. It's very pathetic. I think I talked about it last time I was here. I'm not very good at this game. And going through it for days and days, I actually made it to the very, very, very end. Well,
I don't believe you.
I did.
No way.
I got me an Elden Ring Platinum trophy being sick.
That's a good achievement right
Yeah,
there.
that's the achievement. And I only had to cheese like 3 bosses. It was pretty good.
In case you don't know what cheesing is, it's cheating.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
a
yeah.
simple way of putting
Yeah.
it.
See, just like I've decided to adopt the life mentality to some gaming, where it's not fair. So cheat.
I will say this, Arcus, our favorite speedrunner, he has started speedrunning actual real life stuff. So he was speedrunning burritos. So he would start the clock and then he would have a counter. So every time you hit one of your steps, it like you stop so you can see your pace that you're on.
Okay.
And so he would go and click. So it would start and go boom and get the beans down and click and then boom and then the cheese and then all the stuff. And he speed ran a burrito in like 12 seconds. It was the coolest thing.
He should not be doing that because he's going to give people ideas. And I don't mean people, I mean businesses. And there are certain things that you should not prove can be done by mortal men, i.e., make an entire burrito in 12 seconds, because then somebody's going to be at taco time thinking, I saw some gamer dude do this in 8 seconds, and it's taking you upwards of a minute, underpaid employee at Taco Bell.
I see what you're saying.
Right? And nobody wants that.
No.
Cool that he's doing it, and for the entertainment value, that's
really funny to watch it live.
But man,
Thing. You got me thinking about that.
Got to be careful.
Hey, love you, buddy.
I love you too.
Thank you for joining us. His name is Uncle Brando. We love him. We'll be seeing him on a whole bunch of other shows. He is the co-host of the Commander Cookout podcast, the best podcast on the damn internet. I don't care who knows it, and not just for Magic the Gathering. You guys are awesome, and you actually make me want to learn the hardest game in the history of anything. So I haven't learned anything, but I'm trying.
Good luck. I'm still learning it too.
He's got me.
We'll figure it out.
All right, there he is. Give him a hand, everybody. There we go. Noah, hit me up on camera 3 here. I got to touch something real quick before we get in this previously recorded tape that we're going to run. The citywide food drive for our very good friends over at the Saskatoon Food Bank and Learning Center is continuing. On Monday, we're going to have Lori O'Connor, my bestest buddy. She's going to join us to talk about how important this entire food drive is as we make our way through, all the way to the end of May. But they are calling out for barrel requests, so you can just head on over to, I believe the website is saskatoonfoodbank.org. Go there, and then you can sign up to make your monetary donation. You can sign up to get a barrel at your workplace and all sorts of other things. So I just want to make sure we reminded you about the citywide food bank drive going on right now with our friends over at the Saskatoon Food Bank and Learning Center. We are now going to go to a previously recorded taping with a very special message that we're trying to get out there. So Noah, let's go ahead and run that bad boy right now. All right, here we are with another previously recorded interview, and this one's very special because it came about due to Dragon and LB, who are a part of this, and there's a lot of passion and feeling involved with what's going on that we're about to talk about. So we're going to get right into it, as we would now like to introduce Mr. Gall!
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I was going to say, give me some clapping here. I love that. We clap everyone in here because it's all about, this is a big happy family, and I say it a lot about how this whole thing is just a bunch of outcasts coming together and doing something they love. And the fact that you trained the outcasts that basically built this and got you in here today makes me so proud. With the media, I knew I was going to mess it up right off the bat, the media arts class.
The media school program at Evan Hardy.
Nailed it. See that? That's what we're all about here. The media school arts class program.
Media school program.
LB in the house, again, fully trained, and I am not. So this is a program that has been having a little bit of a tough time bringing people in to the point that we have guys like LB and Dragon that have been going out and saying, guys, listen, this program is incredible. We have become a part of this, and we continue for the rest of our lives to be a part of this. And like a lot of things nowadays with these school, I guess, overall program, there's cutting being made here and there, and this program is one of those sort of situations. And we wanted to get you in here today to talk about the importance of basically why we need this so we can help guys like this that are making incredible places like this. Was that a very good intro? Did that cover most of it, except for butchering the name a bunch of times? So, Mr. Gall, please tell us about what goes on when you're teaching all these guys about media as a whole.
All right. Okay. Well, I'm going to ramble a little bit, and hopefully
You go, man.
You cut in and let me know because I'll probably skip over a bunch.
And that's what I told him too. I said, dude, you're running this thing because I have no idea what I'm talking about. So you just take the reins and go with it.
Yeah. So the media school program, it's based out of Evan Hardy, but we take in students from all over the city, outside of the city, even international at this point. Like I had a German student
so cool.
last semester, and next year I'll have a student from Spain. So I get students from all over, but majority from in and around Saskatoon. And I just take a group of students. Normally it's around 18 to 20. The numbers increased to 25 right now. But we take, but from their experience, about 20 or so students. And they learn everything to do about film. So all day from period 2 to 5, we're just learning about how to make movies, and everything we're learning is about cameras, camera angles, film, editing, and just time to explore and creative writing. And in the end, they get 4 credits for the 4 courses and get to make some incredible stuff.
And there's so much to be said about putting kids who can learn about things they're passionate about, because as we all know, a lot of school is guys trying to, learn stuff that you don't really care about. Like to be honest about it, right? Like you walk in there, I don't care about math or science or any of that stuff, but it's sort of forced upon you. So when you get something like, for a guy like me, it was like phys ed or like IA, those classes where you can actually get your hands in there and do stuff. Those are the things you tend to gravitate to. So with something like this, it's so important to learn early what you're passionate about, and to be able to do that in high school, I think is a very valuable asset that we need to sort of put a spotlight on.
For sure, yeah, and I forgot to mention it's for grade 11, so it's kind of it's around that time where you're almost done high school, and hopefully by then you have this idea of, okay, I kind of want to do this. Not that you don't, that's fine. Everybody's still kind of figuring things out, but so many are at that stage like, you know what, I just love filmmaking, I love cameras, I like all that kind of stuff. Like, why can't I just learn that for a while? That's it. Just let me do that.
And like, think about how many times like you've gone to a guidance counselor in high school, or like you've been having your parents in that discussion, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? You're like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm a kid trying to get through life here in high school. And it's just this specific program opens up so many doors, like you said, because it's not just like being in front of the camera, it's all of the stuff. Like without that program, what we're doing right now would not exist. This place would not exist because your students built this and they run this thing, man. It's crazy to think about. And the potential there is so huge in a world that is moving more and more away from the mainstream, and I use that term loosely, like media, like radio and TV, into the online stuff and into the sort of next wave of how we consume media. And this is a huge part of it, is being able to produce it and build it. So when you're a kid and you can learn that early, you can have opportunities like what we're doing right now. And I think that's just so important for people to know this is something that your kids would probably want to get into.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
I mean, I like you were saying, you look at the classes, like math, and that's like, I don't think I ever put as much work into school as I did for like, the 6 months that I was in the program. All the hours that we put in, like shooting, outside of school, and going off, on location, shooting, and it like you say, it makes you want to do school,
And it says all you need to know that you are still connected with the guy that was teaching you that, to the point where you want to get him in here and show him off and say, listen, this is something we got to go to bat for. Like, this is something that we need to be pushing, because if this goes away, then everyone just goes back to trying to figure out what the heck they want to do. And that just bugs me, knowing that doors close when they should be open.
Yeah, for sure. And kind of to that point, like right now is like we were mentioning in semester 2, I'm not teaching the program right now, right? And I'm teaching some random classes, which are lovely. Don't get me wrong.
Hey, it's important, absolutely.
But definitely a learning curve. I didn't think I would ever have to teach science in my life, but here, there I go. But yeah, the unfortunate thing, like the real unfortunate thing when it comes to students, though, is like I had to say no to a handful of students that could only be in the program for semester 2. And so, to let them know, like, sorry, I'm not running the program. So maybe it wasn't a full amount, but, to say no to like, 7 or 8 students
breaking hearts,
didn't have, and they're like, oh, well, I can't do it anymore. And yeah, and they'll never get a chance, to do it now. So
And that's not fair. See, and hearing all this makes me think about, okay, so if they're going to take that away, how do you sort of operate anything like this with not having the school system backing you? Like, is that something that you've looked into at all in like doing this sort of away from the school system?
yeah, I mean, it's something. Well, actually, I never really thought about it too much, to be honest.
Well,
It's
if you could, though, like,
if,
is that
if, oh man,
something-
if I
yeah.
could, that'd be
It would-
amazing.
it would-
Like,
I mean, financially, it would be very difficult, and
Yeah.
also I don't know how you'd make that so it was like accredited, sort of. Like, I know that's more of a university term, but you'd still have to meet the high school outcomes.
yeah, and which would be fine. Like that part, I think would be easy because
Like,
I'm
I'm
teaching, but then I have
Yeah.
and have my degree. So I think in that sense it would be fine. It was just kind of maybe getting it approved as essentially would be a private school.
Yeah.
which
Like,
it would be.
that's what I'm
But it'd be
thinking. Like,
expensive.
well, say a place like this, like how hard would it be for us to be like, all right, you know what? You go ahead and take that whole program away. We'll bring it right in here. We'll have Mr. Gall come in here. We'll get those students in here and we'll teach it right here. Like, is that something that you could, technically do?
But that's a good point though. That like you could do it private, but like a private school, everybody thinks private school it's really expensive, and it would have to be more expensive because you don't have the school where backing you. And that's one of the great things about this program is relative to most
everyone.
film schools, it doesn't
Yes.
cost that much. Like I don't know what the fees are right now, but
Well, we had to increase them a little bit. there,
yeah,
so
but it's
about
still
100
still
The way the
not.
world
It's
goes,
like
yeah.
it's not it's not that much, and that's the great thing about having it in the schools is that you can have access to thousands of dollars of equipment for
there.
pretty cheap.
Yeah, and available to everybody because, as you know, like when you're in school, it's everybody's in school, be it from the rich kids to the poor kids and everyone in between. And the importance of that, just as a guy who, went through all of that as someone who didn't have to really worry about the monetary situations that all of my friends sort of did. I would always wonder, like, why didn't you do this when you were there? And and now we realize it's because you didn't have the opportunity. And so I think there's something to be said about going out and recruiting and doing stuff like this and saying this and this is important and this is a way we can help each other out, because this whole place, again, this whole Dufferin Avenue Media Network was built out of, hey, we want to help people. We don't want to get rich. We don't care about money. All we want to do is help each other, because if you help each other, you'll notice that life becomes better for everyone. And this is such a good example of how you can sort of put your money where your mouth is type of situation and say, man, we would like to help. Like, how can we do it? And if you go into a problem with a solution, it usually helps get the ball rolling a little quicker. So I'm just trying to figure out a way how to do that when you're in a position like we are here. And I don't know the answer, and I'm just throwing stuff at you right now, but this is just where my brain goes. So, like, is there anything that you can think of that we could sort of help out with around these parts?
I think for this program in particular, it's something that I want to keep going. And
Well, I can
hopefully
tell
goes-
you're
it's been
passionate
for
about it. That's what I'm
15. It's
saying.
been 15 years now.
Jeez.
This is my second year in it.
Yeah.
And so it's been 15 years running, and I don't want it to stop. In fact, I have kind of bigger kind of aspirations for what it can
Yes.
be, because there's a chance to even bring in. I want to do another credit involved, so it's a full day, because oftentimes that period one, a lot of people well, I got to go to this one class, and it kind of interrupts sort of the day,
The
right?
flow,
so,
yeah.
Yeah, so let's get another credit, and I want to introduce even almost a film acting course around it. So because there's so many like I noticed in the program there'd be students that are just passionate about the camera and the technical side of everything, right?
Got a couple of those here,
Exactly.
yeah.
And then there'd be ones that want to be on camera and do more of the acting. So it's it'd be nice combination of something.
I was one of those because I hated being in front of the camera, but I was doing all this special effects stuff and all all that kind of stuff.
And without you doing that, I can't stress it enough, none of this would be here. And I've been tossing around the idea of sort of somehow creating a sort of school or a teaching type of involvement where we could teach people how to be like a podcast host and how to be like a Twitch streamer and how to do all that stuff that we're all consuming anyway. And all I hear right now is opportunity, 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 because the people that have it don't care enough about it. And there's so many people outside that do. You make these connections. Only 2 years there, and you got these guys going to bat for you, man. And that says a lot right there to me. We got to help these guys out. So I don't know how that would be done, but I just want to continue to stay on this because I feel like there's a lot of work that we could do here to make sure an incredible avenue isn't just wasted and thrown away. It pisses me off. It bugs me when I hear stuff like that.
Yeah. You know, and to be honest, it really speaks. You know, they're fighting for the program.
Yeah.
You know, and what it has meant for them, and how much it means to other students, and what it could mean to future students.
Yeah.
Right. So it's that idea is really making sure it keeps going because they really appreciate it, and they want others to go through that same experience.
It gets people. Like, I mean, we have in the hallway in the class, we have the Hall of Fame, and we have like a whole bunch of people that are now working in the industry and run successful YouTube channels and all that. They're all over, and I think a program like this is what sets people, because this is probably their first opportunity to spend like the whole day doing film. Yeah. And like, okay, I can actually do this for the whole day. I want to do it.
It makes you realize that it's possible to make dreams come true. All we hear is like, oh, life's so hard, and oh, I don't want to chase a dream. I just have to go work, and I have to go teach a class that I'm like, not fully involved in when I was doing something I care so much about. And it just breaks my heart to know that, because there is such a high demand for people that want to do what we're doing. And this is the future of what's happening. And for to hear doors closing instead of opening and like welcoming with open arms, I cannot say it enough. It really upsets me. It does. And I don't like that. I don't like being upset. This place is supposed to be positive, right? We say it all the time. And our only rules around here is no politics and no religion ever. So we never touch on that stuff. But we also really care about stuff like this. And when I hear people messing with that, it doesn't go over well with me. So I feel like this is going to be a little fight that we should start pushing back a little bit more.
So where can people find out more?
Info, baby.
Yeah. Oh, info.
What's that? Link in the describes.
Link in the description.
I was close. That was really close. Almost nailed it. So where do we go to find out more about them?
Where do we go? I don't know. There's a
website. I think.
Yeah. You Google. I Google search usually Evan Hardy Media School.
Yeah.
Whenever I'm like
easiest.
Google search Evan Hardy Media School.
You're like me. It's just a Google search.
Yeah, it's good.
Put in those important words and they'll get you. Watch them go. LB's going now.
Does it work?
I hope.
It usually comes up pretty quick.
spsd.sk.ca is what Dragon is saying in my
Dragon.
ear.
That's it. And we can put that up too. So if you want to help out in this, let's get this going.
Yeah.
It's just too much.
When we're thinking about what exactly we need coming up here. So I have a semester one right now that's too full to be honest, actually. But I didn't want to say no to some of these students. That's
heartbreaking.
Yeah, I'm like, so I don't quite have the equipment yet. I'm working hard on trying to get some extra equipment so I can, help all the students do it. But ideally, what I'd like to do is have that Sem 2 going. So I'm looking for semester 2 students now, and so this is for next year, obviously. So if you're in grade 10 right now, it'd be for those grade 10 students.
Or even younger. I had my eye on the program since I was in grade 6, and I was like, I'm going there and doing that.
That's it. And we got equipment here. We could do equipment drives, couldn't we? I know you can refurbish anything.
Well, not
anything.
Really.
I'm standing by it. Hey, if
the
not,
cameras are a little different.
You can learn though. You're smart enough to do it. So if you got anything that might help out, maybe that's where we start. Is just start trying to collect some stuff. And there's got to be more we can do. Is my point here. And I feel like we could get on that sooner rather than later, because this is just way too damn important to be just throwing it away.
Sure. Yeah. And there's they both had a chance to go to Vancouver last year, which was phenomenal. Right? It's a great experience. Unfortunately, I couldn't this year because I didn't have a Sem 2, and just the way things work out schedule wise, it's often we'll go kind of in that springtime. But without a class, I wasn't able to take the current group. So yeah, now I'm sort of
missing out on stuff.
Yeah, and so I'm looking ahead of next year. I'm like, well, okay, if we don't have Sem 2, then I could try to squeeze it in for a Sem 1, but it's kind of a difficult.
And then you're rushing it, and you're doing all.
So it is kind of like that is a big component that sort of losing out on, which I'd love to do.
That was a lot of fun.
Any highlights? Any highlights for me?
Yeah. Well, usually there's there's school trips, but this one was because we were out touring film sets and studios. We were right in I remember going to a movie a couple weeks after we got back, and I'm like, hey, I was I saw a credit, and I'm like, hey, I was there. You know, and like just
Yeah.
seeing that, like, because I mean, of course, Vancouver is, you know, the film place for,
that's the
for
hub,
Canada.
yep,
You know, that's
you
the
bet.
hub, and not even just Canada, but North America. It's a, you know, and you
huge.
know, we toured like sets, and it's like you're in the heart of it. You know, like you're exposed to the industry.
I had one experience. I have one IMDb credit for the movie Hollywood Flies. I was a set decorator on there, and I spent 2 of the 3 months sleeping in the same cube van that we used to move all of the stuff in and out. And as that little taste, of my cousin, he was like highly involved with all like the Saskatchewan film stuff until it sort of went south and all that. And so he just got me this gig, and to be a part of a film like that, like there was like Vinnie Jones and Casper Van Dien and all these movie stars that you were hanging out with that night. Like we'd all work like 15-hour days, and then you go hang out with all these movie stars. Like what is happening? It's just such a cool thing. And to just even think about the possibility, as it's already around this province, it's had its problems. So just to know that stuff like that can happen, that's enough to motivate me to say, no, not anymore. We got to keep these doors open instead of shutting them, because it doesn't help anybody. So just that little taste got me real fired up for the whole industry, which is
well,
cool.
even like it's been on the rise again.
Yeah.
Because they brought back the film credit.
Yeah, they brought
that
back-
was the
that's
one,
right.
yeah.
And so like we toured the Regina
Yeah,
soundstage.
it's wild.
The screen wasn't up yet when we did
Oh,
it though,
okay.
which was just
Yeah, so
unfortunate.
they have. Is it North America's third?
I think when they first built it, it was like North America's, and I think it's second largest. Like,
But it's an LED
but
green screen.
yeah, it's an LED
crazy.
So,
screen.
and they shot. I can't remember what movie it was or TV show. There was some TV show.
There's some sort of TV show they're currently filming.
Yeah,
right
they're
now.
currently shooting on it, and but then you know you're walking through there and you can see all their pre-production on the wall.
It's
and,
so
like,
cool. Yeah, like when we were doing ours, Corner Gas was just taking
Yeah.
off, and the big joke was, "Oh yeah, you worked on Corner Gas. Well, that sucks because they're not going to make it
I
through their
remember
pilot." And we
seeing-
were like taking props from their sets for our movie because they won't need them. And then Corner Gas just took off. Like, holy geez! So we were in those sound stages and these different
I remember
spots, and then Rolo
being
filming.
down there one time for another thing, and I got the opportunity to just tour the soundstage, and they were shooting Corner Gas at that time, and they had what's the grandma and grandpa?
How would we not know this? Come on now.
Leroy and
They are the Leroys.
no, what's her name? Anyway, those you know who I'm talking. Everybody
Of course,
knows who I'm
everyone
talking about.
knows. We love
And
Corner
then They
Gas.
had their house, you know, in the soundstage.
It's right
and
there
it's
in the
right there. You
stage.
can
Yeah,
see it. Yeah.
and to be able to like walk by it and just see like there's no front to this, like then
Yeah.
you learn about shots that are outside out at Rolo, then the interior shots
Yeah.
done in this set.
Yeah.
Like it's so cool to learn all those tricks of the trade. So
Yeah.
I just don't want that to go. That's all I'm saying. So we got to do some work here, I think, is what I figured out. Is there anything else we need to know here before we wrap up, fellas?
Oh, I don't know what else. I don't know. Well, to apply.
Yeah,
'cause
I mean,
I'm
if
looking
you're
for
even
a-
at
yeah,
all
for
interested,
applications.
Get
apply.
people in there, yes.
Yeah.
And
Do you
you
wanna
won't,
say
even
that?
if you don't ever intend to go into the film industry, I think it's a really good, you know, experience.
It's fun, man.
'Cause, I
Like,
mean,
we
you
just
know,
talked about all the fun. you
and,
have.
and having those skills, like, you know, if you're working, you know, as a marketer or something, even if your job description is not, you know, doing videos, if you have some of those basic skills to just say, hey, I can whip up a video, you know, that makes you more valuable.
All about making yourself valuable.
Yeah.
I like that. And we learn a lot around here. So to Mr. Gall, thank you very much for stopping by today and letting us know all about what's going on. And I feel like we'll be talking to you again in the future as we move forward and try to right this wrong that is going on currently. I know no one else can say that but me, but I'll be the front guy to sort of be the bad guy and say this pisses me off. So I just want to thank you for stopping by.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
It's been great.
There you go. The great Mr. Gall. So that's going to be something we're going to look into continuing to push and promote because, as you can tell, I was getting a little fired up about all of these things that are being taken away from the kids when we have the kids that were going through their building this dream. So you take that program away and then this stuff doesn't happen. More on that in the weeks to come. I want to say hello to D-Rock and the rest of my family out at Echo Bay watching today. Also known as Aquaman. You can see on the hat over here. The cameras are hard. Look at that. We got swag that we're going to be giving away as well. I got a bunch of info. So yesterday we talked about underwater drone inspections, which I thought was the coolest thing because everyone talks about drones and these ones go underwater. But they also do annual and quarterly monitoring and sampling of different water, as well as asset management plans and many, many more things. So shout out to our good friends at Aquaman. We love you guys. Keep doing what you're doing out there in Lloydminster. Now, without further ado, we're going to make sure the crowd's ready to cheer for this one. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for our next guest, Hardcora! Woo! Co-host of the Past Our Bedtime podcast with our good friend Brooksy, who you know from not only this show, but as well as the social media savior around here, because I hate social media to the point where we hired someone, and she's the person we hired, and she's so good at it, to the point where we get compliments of our social media that we do here, and I don't even know how it's done or who does it, so I'm assuming it's her. Yeah, okay, Network Grind
she's
says.
amazing.
Yeah, she's awesome. I almost swore there. How are you, buddy?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. I feel a little bit nervous without my protection Wendy with me.
Yeah, see, I call, like, Royal Anders is the guy that made our incredible website, and I call him my Anders support dog, or my support Anders.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Wendy can make any situation just more calm with
Yeah,
her
she's really
presence,
good at what
eh?
she does. Yeah. And good luck to her. She heads out to Mexico at the same time as Royal Anders. It's funny, we
Yeah.
talk about our emotional support humans, and
Yeah.
they're both going to Mexico.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, so I feel like we're not supported now. I'm sort of worried.
Now we have each other. We can
There
support
it is.
each
We
other.
support each other. Okay, this is good. So I know that you have a list in front of you of
Yeah, I
things
came
you wanted to
prepared.
get to, because this is something that I'm all about, is bringing people on that we support. So let's just dive right into it, because I know you got a lot of stuff you want to get off that list.
Well, if we don't get to everything, that's fine. But I gave you a tea last time I was here. It
Sleepy
was
time tea.
Sleepy time tea, and it was a little bit earthy.
Yes.
Did you sleep better?
I did. That mixed with your magnesium foot roll-ons.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
use that too?
I did at the same time, and it's the best sleep I've had probably in months.
Yeah, right.
I'm not joking. I texted Brooksy right after. I said, "Tell Hardcora that she saved my sleep."
Yeah, it's amazing.
And I've tried Ambience, and I've tried those like blue ones that everyone takes, and it makes you wake up and your mouth's all iron, like all the different sleeping pills. And I've tried sleeping drinks, and nothing has worked as well as yours. That's why I thought there was like something crazy in there. But you're saying it's all organic.
natural.
How does that
no
work?
caffeine in any of the teas I drink, because I usually drink them at night.
Yes.
But one of the herbs that was in it, it helped lucid dreaming. So did you lucid dream
I
at all?
did.
Yeah, right.
I'm not joking. And like cause I have this other thing that I ordered online, and it's called like Lucid Dream, and it's like a little packet you put in your
Yeah.
water. And I had like nightmares on that stuff. So I was like, I don't know if I like this stuff, but yours were nice dreams.
Yeah.
They were really cool.
Yeah, it took me a couple concoctions to get to this one that I made that I gave you last time.
Yeah.
But I brought you a new one.
I want to know it. I've
today.
been chugging this. Like,
This-
it's so good.
This is called Decompression Specialty,
Ooh.
and it helps with inflammation, a stress reliever, and a mild diuretic. Mild, don't worry.
I don't even know what diuretic is. Like,
It just
is that
helps
insulin
move
involved?
things through
No?
your body.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you can go to the bathroom faster, I
Oh,
suppose.
so it's going to help me pee?
Poop.
Oh, even better.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it also protects your intestine linings.
That's good.
Yeah, it is good.
Yes.
And it's sweet.
It tastes good. Like the other one, it tasted like it was like almost medicinal, like the sleepy time one. So I was like sort of like, I gotta get this down. So I just crushed it.
Yeah,
But this one I'm like savoring right now.
yeah,
so-
it's good.
So my next question, obviously, as I know Network Ryan is always in my ear saying, sell, make money, sell. Can people buy this stuff? How, like, you have to, if you're not selling this yet, can you please start selling it?
I've been just pushing it on people. I haven't been selling it, but I mean,
feel like
maybe
we
I
should.
should get into it.
Well, we have a literal stage here that we are sitting on with like 4 people watching right now, but then on the replay, a bunch more people watch. And we can set something up because we are building a store where you can buy a whole bunch of swag from the network here. Maybe we could sell your specialties
You're the
on there.
best.
I'm
Yeah.
just saying, I'm all about helping. This whole place is all about helping,
You're the best.
especially when it's stuff that I really enjoy.
Okay.
So if you will allow us, I would love to push this because
Okay.
I've drank a lot of tea.
Okay.
Since I've been off the liquor for like damn near 3 years now, and I'm all about trying different like things that will make me feel.
Yeah.
Because like the liquor, it's all, oh, you want to feel good, so you go and get drunk, and this is how I get drunk now.
That's
so
how
it's really
this
cool.
started. Is I got sober curious, and so I quit drinking, and so here we are.
Cheers.
Now I'm
Thank
drinking
you.
tea.
This is so good. And, oh, I'm so happy. Thank you.
Also,
Well, that was for you. That
also
wasn't for me.
Wendy and I, we drink tea on our podcast, right? And so
That's a great segue.
yeah,
I
and
wanted to try the D's Nuts tea that you guys were drinking on the first episode.
yeah, well, I'll bring it. Well, she has to bring it. It's
Okay.
her tea.
Okay,
But last time I didn't really explain the podcast very well.
here we go.
And so it's not really a generalized theme like just sports or politics
Sorta
or
like this
video
show.
games. Like
Mhm.
every episode is a completely different topic.
Now, do you find it hard to explain to people when they ask? Because when we started this thing, everyone would ask, you have to have it has to be about something. It has to be about something. You can't just do it without having it be about something. And I was like, dude, if it has to be about something, then we'll just say it's a show about nothing.
That's
what do you mean?
I said. Ours is a show about nothing.
And do you know another show that was about nothing that did pretty good?
Seinfeld.
So if you're gonna model something, that's probably pretty good models, would I say?
Yeah, it's just
sort of steal your thunder.
No, it's fine, and it's just us talking and Bestie bantering back and forth, and each episode is different. So, and we say our slogan's kind of like, you probably won't learn anything, you will never get this time back, but we might entertain you because we are kind of funny. I think.
I can vouch for you. You guys always say that with like a question at the end, and I'm telling you, you are very funny, like very, very funny, and I really enjoy it. So I just want you to know that. And I'm not just saying that.
It's because Wendell is. We call her Wendell.
Wendell, I've heard it. Yeah.
She's funny, man.
Yeah.
Like the stuff that comes out of her mouth, she's hilarious.
Absolutely.
Okay, but I want to talk about some wrestling stuff.
Here we go. Now we're getting to the good stuff. Okay, lay it on me.
So I still have cable TV. Most people stream.
I do. Yeah.
I have cable. I love it. We don't do anything. My husband's been sober for a long time. You know, like it's just the luxury. So
yes.
Amy always has autobiographies on, or the WWE Most Wanted Treasures.
Yep. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I think the recent ones, it might not be recent, but it's recent to me, is WWE Rivals.
Yes, that is pretty recent. I think they're on like their second or third year now.
Year?
Yeah, but like runs.
Oh.
So there was basically the show is like the best rivalries in wrestling is what they do. So it's like you get your John Cena versus Edge, and you get like Undertaker versus Kane, and all those battles.
Yeah.
So I do know what you're talking about.
Okay, so the first one that I watched was Hulk Hogan versus Macho Man. But was Randy Savage and Macho Man the same person? And when did that transition happen?
He was exactly the same. The big saying in wrestling is when you're being a character, the best character you can possibly be is yourself times 1,000.
Okay.
And Macho Man Randy Savage, like he talked all the time like that, you know, like that was him. So they call it a gimmick in wrestling, and his gimmick was just him amped up. And so to answer your question, he was always Macho Man. They just put a name on him once he started going up.
Okay, so that's when he kind of started getting bigger.
Yes.
And was Miss Elizabeth a part of him the whole time, like, or was it only when Macho Man came in?
So Elizabeth was
Miss Elizabeth.
So, and I always say this way because like the big saying, and my brother Davey loves this one all the time. Elizabeth, will you marry me? And then her response, this was in the ring when he proposed, and her response was, oh, yeah. It was really cool. So they were a real couple, and they were married for a while, and then Lex Luger, that piece of garbage, stole her from him.
Oh.
But he wasn't a very good husband.
I thought Hogan came in there somehow.
In storyline, Hogan stole her, and that's how they broke up the Mega Powers, I believe they were called.
Okay.
Yes, thank you. Brendo's my wrestling fact checker.
When I was watching it, I was noticing some similarities between Miss Elizabeth and Macho Man with me and Wendy.
Oh boy.
Miss Elizabeth is like Wendy, like very put together, very beautiful, hair done, makeup done, very stylish, holding the team together, like the managers. Like she is holding the podcast together with her skills. I'm learning. Yeah. And then there's Macho Man, who's kind of like me. He's just like kind of lunatic-ish, talks a little weird, frizzy hair, like for sure. That's me and Wendy.
I feel like we need to get you dressed up as Macho Man for your next appearance.
You think?
Yeah, it'd be pretty good. I think you could rock the hell. And you guys are all about dressing up on your podcast.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're in our pajamas. It's not.
But they're dressed up pajamas.
And he wears bandanas, and I love bandanas. And speaking of bandanas.
Uncle Mike. See, Network Ryan, when he was showing me the phone earlier, he's like, check your text. It was because he thought Uncle Mike's was voted the best smelling store in Saskatoon. And I had to tell him that was just a coach who went in there to pick up his stuff for Mother's Day, by the way. And he used the code DAM20 as the promo code, and he got 20% off his buy. By the way, he saved Mother's Day by picking up a bunch of stuff there. And I had to tell Network Ryan that was just coach saying, like, it wasn't an actual award that was given out. He was just saying it's
it does smell good in there.
It's so good. And again, like, we smell like that in here now with all of our cool stuff. And how did your prize go over last time?
It's on my head.
That was the only one you took? I thought you took more. No, just that.
No, it just
so we're pretty good because you're wearing it.
I love it.
Okay, this is good. Now let's get back to your list here. I like where this is going.
So, so another thing about the Rivals is, like, obviously the storylines. Like, that's all about wrestling. And I know that there's local wrestling. I'm not really involved or know a lot about it, but I used to work with some people that were, heavy into it. Is it still a thing? And, like, do they have storylines just like the WWE. Is it E or
Yes.
WWF?
Well, it's WWE now.
Okay.
It was WWF, but then the World Wildlife Federation sued the hell out of them, so they had to change it.
Oh,
So that's how that all went. But there are a bunch of different, like Saskatchewan promotions and promotions across Canada. And we are looking to start doing some work with those promotions. So maybe we can get you out to a local show
yeah, I'd
that
love
may be
that.
coming through. So we even have our very own Davey Disaster, who's one of my good buddies. He cut a promo for us. I don't know if we can find it now because it's somewhere hidden in the computer over there. I don't know where it is, but we use it as a transition video. And he comes on and he like straight up, like, this is Davey Disaster. And he like welcomes you to his nightmare. And he's
Yeah.
like, awesome. He's such a good dude. Shout out to Davey Disaster. But we are looking to get way more involved in the local scene, if you will. So it is alive and thriving.
That's cool. Is there like one group or organization, or is there multiple?
There's
ones?
multiple. And again, producer Noah, the phenom over there, his dad does commentary for some of them
No.
that come through. So I was supposed to be his color guy. So it'd be like, I guess the biggest one would be like JR and Jerry the King Lawler.
Okay.
Growing up for us, those were the two guys. But like Gorilla and Jesse the Body Ventura, like, listen here, Gorilla. Like those guys, like those duos, those commentary teams are just as important as the wrestlers themselves.
They are. They keep
And
it
his
going.
dad does that stuff.
That's
So,
cool.
Like we are working our way in to that world. So maybe we'll get you on something like that as well.
Yeah, I just want to learn a little bit more about
Yeah.
it. But what's your favorite rival?
Man, see, like there's been so many that I've watched now, like you were saying. And as an older guy with those older ones, you think you love them so much, but when you watch them, you learn that all these wrestlers are just horrible human beings.
Oh yeah.
And Brando likes to talk about how like don't meet your heroes, man, because they're not very good. And that's sort of like I try to stay away from them and try to stay away from that. But with that in mind, like I have a couple of wrestlers who I just absolutely loved, and Chris Jericho was one of them. And now we find out that he's sort of in that angle. So I don't really like growing up, like I was an Undertaker guy. I loved Undertaker. So that Undertaker and Kane one was really cool
Yeah.
to watch.
Oh, his brother, right?
Yeah.
Long lost brother. Yeah.
In storyline. And
He
it was
scared
cool.
me when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, that was the point. And my sister is watching right now. She was big time scared of Papa Shango because Papa Shango had the voodoo stuff, and
Yeah.
he would like make guys like throw up in the ring and all that. But I think like it's probably those guys because they seem like the kindest ones. Like Kane is now the mayor of a town
Okay.
in the States. Like he got voted in as the mayor.
Yeah, they were all kind of degenerates back then. But I mean,
Yeah.
how can you can't blame them? They're just alcohol fueled, pill
That
popping men.
was the thing. And now the whole big transition with Vince getting fired and kicked out of all that because he's like the worst human being ever.
Is he really fired?
Oh yeah, he's
Oh, it's not a part of a story.
no, he is a
Okay.
human piece of garbage. So with that, they've been sort of moving and transitioning from like the hangout stuff being like the drinking and the drugging to like video games.
Cool.
So there's a lot of like streamers now that are wrestlers that stream games and stuff like that, like the New Day and stuff. They got this channel called Up Up Down Down, which is super cool to watch.
Yeah.
And they sort of replaced that side of wrestling with this side, and it's obviously a lot better for you.
Yeah.
So it's cool that wrestling's coming back up in that way.
Yeah, it is cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for
What else?
What else? I
Tell
got
me,
here?
there's got to be some more on there. Anything else? It's a
Well,
big list.
if you could see any of the most wanted treasures, like or a prop or an outfit, like and like think back to your childhood because I don't really know any of the new wrestlers. I went to a wrestling match like at the Saskatoon Center last year.
Yeah.
It was-
AEW?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there too.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
It
All
was
Elite Wrestling,
fun.
yeah.
But I mean, from your childhood, what would excite you to see
Oh,
a treasure?
you know, like maybe Jake the Snake Damien.
Yeah.
Like Damien, like I always felt like that snake would have scared the hell out of me, but at the same time, I thought it would be pretty cool. What about you? What would you like to see?
I don't know. I mean, I just started watching it,
I know,
so I don't really
but-
have anything that really sticks out to me. I don't know.
I'm trying to think about something that hardcore would enjoy. Maybe like the Big Boss Man's Nightstick or Hacksaw Jim Duggan's 2x4.
Probably some sort of like flamboyant cape.
Ooh, maybe Macho Man's cape. He had a lot of capes.
Yeah, he
That'd
did
be
have a
good.
lot of
Or
capes.
Jimmy Hart's megaphone would be
Who's
pretty
the
cool
old
too.
guy? Is there a Ross guy that had like he was really old with blonde hair?
You say Ross, like Jim Ross,
Maybe?
the announcer?
No.
He had a
was
cowboy
an actual
hat.
wrestler. But
Hmm.
my favorite wrestler, if I think about it, because when I was a kid,
Yeah.
would be Bret Hart.
The Hitman. He's a lot of them. A
Yeah.
lot of people love the Hitman for sure.
Yeah. But I do have one last question for you before we
let's do
go.
it before we head out. Yes, because it is time to start hitting the fingers here right away.
If you could be in any movie or TV show, like live in it, but like come back to real life, but not have to be a character, be yourself, what would that be?
That's a loaded question. Like, so I could be like rich and famous and all that if I wanted to, and something like that, or I could be. Man, I probably just want to be in a video game movie like that John Leguizamo one, the Mario one that everyone hated so much, and I thought was super cool.
Okay.
Just so I could hang out with like Dennis Hopper as Koopa and be like, "Hey, what's up, guys? I'm in a Mario movie."
Like that,
try to bring us some street cred back.
The first Mario movie?
The very first one that everyone hated for
that was
no reason. I thought it was a great movie.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was talking to my boy, Big Boy from Deneb, and he's like, "Yeah, that movie was the worst." Like, am I the only person that liked that movie? Yeah, it was great.
I should watch that this weekend.
Yeah, maybe we should. See, Noah loves it too.
Awesome.
So that would be mine. What about yours? Quick.
I don't know. Somebody asked me this a couple weeks ago, and it threw me off because I'm like, what would I be in? Maybe Star Wars? I don't know. Maybe, I don't know, maybe some Avenger movie, but I would have like some sort of superhero.
I was going to say, do we get the powers?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so maybe it would be, maybe I'd be a Jedi. I'd probably be a Jedi.
I'd be a Jedi too,
yeah,
for sure.
Just go kill some Sith.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, topic for another time. Noah, let's go ahead and get Frankie's fingers going here so we can play this bad boy out. Another incredible week. That's our 5th week going here. That's so crazy. I just want to say thank you to everyone here today. Uncle Brando Network, Ryan Hardcore, thank you for joining us as always as well. The Phenom, my man Noah in there. Thank you for operating. You're incredible. And the amount you've learned, man, is just, you're learning so quick. So thank you to LB and to the Dragon. Thank you for always being amazing as they guided me through Memory Express today. No idea what we were doing there, but we got things up and running for our stream, which we're going to be taking. That's great too. To our friends at Blackstone Barbers Beersmiths, thank you for the trim. I'm feeling good, looking good. And thank you most of all to you as we continue to try to make the world a better place. That's what we're all about here. So thank you for helping us do that and not caring about others instead of ourselves. You know how it all goes now. You know what we're all about. So if you want to be a part of that, let us know. Hit up DufferinAve.com and get in touch as we continue to grow this incredible dream. We'll be back on Monday at 4 p.m. Until that time, do not forget it's Mother's Day, all right? Damn 20 over at UncleMike'sNatural.com can save Mother's Day for you, I promise you. Until then, have a great, great weekend, and take care of yourself out there. Hardcore, give me a little cheers, buddy. Thank you for your concoctions. These are incredible. Woo! Yeah!